We go forever and ever, yeah. You know that I'm much better, yeah. You wish that you can do better, no, I won't let up, We go forever and ever, yeah. I go and create the pressure, yeah. You wish that you can do better, You wish that you can do better, yeah. Ooh. We go forever and ever. We go forever and ever.
Welcome everyone to Coaching this Session. My name is Michael Rearden and I'll be your mindset coach today. And today we're going to be talking about one of the services that I offer, and that's going to be talking about career. And if you're in a career where you can maybe think about you want to get a promotion, you want to move up, fast track, right? If you are not happy in your job, or maybe you don't even have a job and you're looking for the next big thing in your life, whether that be something new or just kind of switching it up in a different workplace. Regardless of what you choose, your career is going to essentially provide you with your sustenance, right? How are you going to feed yourself? You're going to give yourself a roof over your head. There's many different things that you have to understand that career can offer you. But you have to understand also that your career can also be things that are going to slow you down, detract you from doing more better things, because you're stuck in a way of thinking, right? So we're going to be breaking down the idea of a career, what I do in the work as a career coach, and then of course helping you figure out, well, what's your next step where you are right now? Because you can be in a really bad place or you can be in a really good place. Regardless of where you are, you can make adjustments in each of those areas. So before we begin, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and to also share this video right now. Put it on your Facebook, your Instagram, wherever you typically tend to gravitate toward your social media. I know some people have favoritisms when it comes to social media. A lot of people like Instagram. Maybe they like Facebook more. Maybe they like Twitter. Just depends on what your preference is. And then share it on that platform to help build an audience of people who need some assistance in their life in some manner, shape, or form. Because the goal is to help people, and the goal is to get people on the right path. They have to know that the path is there. So what we do here at Reven Concepts is we make it very simple. Where is the path that you need to be on? Let's figure out that first. We might have multiple options, and many people do have multiple options. Just because you have multiple options, it doesn't mean you have to try every single one until you find the right one. We can make a good decision from the get-go. We don't have to do trial and error on every single path saying, well, I wanted to be a locksmith. Let me try out a locksmith, right? Oh, I wanted to be a police officer. Oh, let me try out being a police officer. And you're doing all these careers and you're finding out that you're not in love with any of them. Well, let's learn a little bit about career coaching and then dive into some of the main issues that people face in their current careers, and then also people face in just having a career in general. All right, so everyone, you should be familiar with RevenConcepts.com. If you haven't, RevenConcepts concepts.com, and you can go to our website. The link is going to be in the description box below also. And you can go to the website and you can see the latest and the greatest on what's happening here. Not only do we do complimentary coaching sessions to all new clients, we also offer very different types of resources that are going to be available to you. All right. That means a personal development blog. That means our podcast, Coaching in Session. And then also a podcast is going to be coming up, a new one. And it's going to be more of a show than a podcast, because it's not going to be as strict, I guess you can say. It's just going to be like me talking to people. So I'm just going to call it like a show. I'm not going to call it a podcast. I think a podcast has a different meaning where I'm trying to bring in some purpose. And to be honest, the next show is not going to be I'm trying to bring in purpose. It's going to be I'm going to be making people aware, the hard truth type of way. And then also even maybe working with people live, going through their issues and their problems, because we all have a set of problems. It's just that sometimes people don't know how to begin or how to solve them. Of course, head over to RevenConcepts.com, follow us, join the newsletter, read the blogs, join the podcast, follow the podcast, and then also watch the videos on YouTube, Rumble, Tumblr, all of the places you can watch the videos. And the goal is to get you motivated, to get you into more action. Now, we do many different types of services here at Reven Concepts, and the one that we're going to be focusing on today is going to be career coaching. Career coaching is going to be one of the services that I offer here at Reven Concepts, and you might be wondering, well, what does a career coach do? A career coach can do many different things. Now, for me, when it comes to career coaching, we look at the mindset aspect, number one. So it depends on where you're coming from. If you have no job and you're looking for a job, let's figure that out. If you have a job and you don't like your job, let's figure that out. If you have a job and you want to change your job, meaning you might be working at a Starbucks, but then you want to work at Dunkin' Donuts, right? Not saying that Starbucks is a bad place. It's just that you want a different career in the same field, right? Making coffees and donuts and sweets and pastries and stuff like that, right? Just because you switch, it doesn't mean that you don't like the job. It's just that you want to change an environment. Sometimes that's what people want. So people might have a degree in psychology. They might be working at one facility, and before you know it, they say, I don't like working at this facility because my manager is a jerk. Okay, let's fix that. Let's go to another facility because you still love the career. Change that position. And that can go in any aspect of career. If you're a lawyer, you can change it. If you're a doctor, you can change where you are going to be doing your practice. You get to change to where you want to be. There's going to be some jobs, of course, that you can't do that. And when you're in that type of position, then you have to pivot into a different role, maybe going to a beginner role. Maybe you can even find a new role because you have relevant skills and you can be in a higher paying job. Not saying that you should always settle for less. I believe that what you have attained can be utilized in another company to their benefit. That means if you're a teacher, for example, like me, I can go into a company, if I was a teacher, and I can take control of their trainings and development. I would be amazing at that. Number one, I already do it. Number two, because what I have learned in my teaching career is how to create good lesson plans. How do people learn effectively, right? What is the knowledge and the psyche necessary or needed in order to educate another person? I know that. That's easy. It's a walk in the park for me. So I can do that type of job. What I do every single session with my clients is I help educate them. Number one, I need to know what they're thinking, what they want to do. And then, of course, we create a plan, we create some action. Sometimes it's going to be full-on education, and sometimes it's going to be, well, let's figure out what we need to do and let's take action. In career coaching, it's going to be a lot of planning, and there's going to be a lot of action too. And I say the word a lot, and I know it's hard to know, well, what is a lot, right? Was it 2? Is it 7? Is it 100? Right? It's just that we're going to be making that the primary talking point for our session. Because if I need to know something about what you're trying to go for, what type of obstacles, I need to know so we can plan. And I think sometimes people, they don't plan and then they try to know. Sounds crazy, but that's what people do because they would rather not plan and then fail and then say, well, it doesn't work because you didn't put an action into the plan. So I do a lot of the planning for you in career coaching. So there's different areas that we can talk about. Number one, I talked about it briefly, but I'm just going to be breaking down the different areas. Number one, you're not happy in your job. If you are not happy in your job, then we need to figure out why. Do you want to create purpose in your life, right? Maybe your job is not fulfilling you. Maybe you have a terrible boss and you want to change because that's not making you happy. Then that's where you have to ask yourself, do you want to change your career or do you want to stay in your career? Sometimes people say, well, I really like this career. I have my degree in this career. I went to school for it. So they stay in that career. We just change the place. Now, when they change the place, they might start where they were. They might start a little bit lower. Maybe they start higher, right? Wherever they start, one of the things that we have to make sure is that there's room for improvement in the job we're going in. We don't want to automatically start off in a dead-end job. Now, there might be a job where there's opportunities for growth and you grow and you grow and you grow and you grow. And then there comes a point when you can't grow anymore. At that point, if you feel like you still can grow and you still want to grow, then that's when you make some changes. So it depends on where you are mentally. Do you want to be in a job that has a continual growth process? And for some people, they need that. They need that in order to strive. They have to have that sense of, I'm making purpose in my life. I'm making changes in my career. So you might start off as a secretary and then now you're a manager. And then before you know it, you're the COO. So you are leveling up as you go, right? So, and then of course the promotion track or whatever you want to call it, you're going to be getting an increase in salary as you keep going up. So that's a good thing, right? So we're getting the promotions. So now you just have to figure out, well, I'm getting all of this promotion money and is my life changing, right? Sometimes people, what happens when they have a career is that they start to live a little bit above their means. So for example, if they get a salary of $60,000 a year and they get a raise of $10,000, so now they make $70,000 a year. What they do is they don't say, well, this $10,000 is going to go automatically into investing into something else. They say, well, I have $10,000. What can I do with this money? I'm going to buy a car. I'm going to buy a house. I'm going to buy some clothes. I'm going to do something with this $10,000. So the $10,000 just went to increasing your lifestyle. And that causes a lot of problems because now people are always going to be increasing their lifestyles rather than increasing the opportunities that our money can create for us, right? We try to create opportunities for money to come to us when vice versa, it should be the other way around. Our money should create opportunities for us. So we need to figure out, well, how can we start to get into a better career mindset? And that's what we're going to be talking about right now. When I start to work with people in the career coaching aspect, it's a lot more work for me. It's one of the things that I know is going to help that person, that individual grow. And I've helped people grow very simply too. In a month, we can have tremendous gains, whether it be just changing your job, being more happy, making more money, or just finding fulfillment in what you do. Now, there's going to be different people that come to me. There might be someone who has no job and they say, well, I don't have a job and I'm trying to figure out, well, how can I get a job? And they don't want to just take an entry level position. So they're looking for something a little bit more substantial. And you shouldn't just settle for less, especially if you have good experience, meaning you have already did the work, you did the education, and you have something to offer. There's going to be some positions or some people who don't even have that foundation. So for example, they might not have any job history because they never worked a day in their life. Maybe they are just bad workers or have a poor mindset to working or being a good worker. So for those individuals, I don't say let's work at a Fortune 500 company, because if I did that, they're going to find themselves very unhappy because they're maybe making good money, but it's going to be very demanding and tasking. And there's going to come a point when a manager is going to see that this person is just not equipped for this position. They don't have any foundation for the job. So the person loses the job and then you also close the door. And it's important in career coaching that we're just not closing doors for any old reason. We want to make sure that we can open as many doors and we keep those doors open. You want to burn bridges down, you can burn bridges down. But if we can focus on getting a career and then finding fulfillment in what we do, we're going to be better off. Now, for those people who don't have a job and they're looking for a job, you can go on Indeed, you can look around, talk to your peoples and see if anything is available. You can look in the storefronts and you can see who's hiring and for how much. That is an option where you can begin to put some money in your pockets. But just because you put money in your pockets, it doesn't mean that you're going to find yourself rich. It doesn't mean you're going to find yourself wealthy. It doesn't going to mean that you're going to be able to pay the bills and to put food on the table. So that means if you can't even do that, then you need to figure out, well, what are the things that I need in my career? What do I need my career to do for me? And I think sometimes people think, well, I just want a career, or I went to school for this career, or my parents said I need to choose this career. And when all that happens with the career mindset, a lot of things get muffled. People start to struggle because that is how they were brought up. People struggle because they don't understand the value of themselves. They don't understand the value of their education or certifications or even knowledge set. So that means you might be really good at a particular task. For example, I'm good at math, I'm good at numbers, but it doesn't necessarily mean I want to be an accountant. If you are good at numbers, maybe you get some joy from being an accountant. I didn't get any joy from being an accountant. Yes, I knew how to do it. Yes, I was good at it. But when I was going into work to being an accountant, I disliked every moment of it. Yes, there were some days that were good and the work sometimes wasn't like tedious, but it's very repetitive, right? Open and close the books, right? Balance the spreadsheets. I mean, it's no good for me because I'm just trying to get something new, right? And that's why when I became a teacher, it was so fresh because every single day is a different day. You don't know what you're going to get. You don't know if someone's going to throw up in your class, or you don't know if someone's going to start yelling and screaming and kicking and jumping off chairs. And I mean, you have to be ready for anything that comes your way. And if we think of that aspect of we have to be ready for whatever comes our way, the same aspect in career coaching. What I do with the people who are looking for a change in their career or to receive career coaching is we start to develop their way of thinking, because they think like everyone else. And I'm going to say this for most of the people that I work with in career coaching, is that they have the standard mindset of what a career is, right? And when they think of that career, they don't think about all the possibilities that that career can bring. Just because you have experience working at Walmart, it doesn't mean you're going to be a great teacher in the school system, right? So that's just one example. Now, maybe you learn customer support or customer service, and teaching is like customer service because you basically have 25 to 30 employees or consumers, whatever you want to consider your class. These are people that you have to govern. These are people you have to teach. These are people you have to satisfy in the sense of they're looking for education and you have to give them that fulfillment. So with that aspect in mind, it's all about the client, right? So we learn about the client. We learn about making sure that the person is going to be well equipped for whatever they need. So for example, you go to Walmart. Walmart wants to make sure you got what you need. So for example, if you need a shovel, we got it for you. If you need some soil, we got it for you. If we need some light bulbs, we got it for you. You are covered across the spectrum. But when we go into a career, we might just find something that's one aspect of what we want, right? We want a paycheck, right? We want fulfillment and to be happy and to have the intrinsic good feeling, right? We want to do good in the world. And not saying that you can't have it all, but you need to figure out, well, where are your priorities at? Because if you can begin to make some progress to choose your priorities, then you can start to choose, well, this is what I need to do in order to have a better career or better money habits, right? Or a better lifestyle. Regardless of what your career brings for you, career coaching is going to offer you a new mindset in how you think about the work that you do. If you find yourself in a 9 to 5 and you're not happy and you are stuck in a dead-end job, or that you can't get a promotion and everyone else seems to be beating you, even the new guys, you need to figure out your mindset. You need to figure out why you are stuck and you're not progressing. And if you don't have a job or a career yet, you need to figure out, well, why don't you have a job or a career? What's stopping you? It could be something that is out of your hands, right? I know many employers, they're requiring proof of vaccination, and there's 30% of adults in America who have not even received a shot before. So that means there's going to be 30% of people who might not be able to apply for certain jobs because they didn't want to get a shot. Not right, not wrong, right? That person has the ability to choose how they want to live their life. That's just the way it is. So is this person shooting themselves in the foot because now they have a less pull? And I would say that the person is not doing anything wrong. And even if the pull is shorter, it just makes it easier to focus on the right things. Because you don't want to be any place that they don't want you, or you don't want to be any place where they have a certain level of control on you. For me, if someone wanted to come work in my company, whether they had a shot or they didn't have a shot, it means nothing to me. If you are a certain orientation or culture, it means nothing to me. All I'm looking for is, I have a job, can you do it? Can you do the best job ever? If you can, I want you to work for me. And sometimes people don't understand that they can do good work in a job that might seem meaningless. You could be the best fry flipper in all of town at your fast food place, and you can say, I find pride in the work that I do because I'm helping people gain substance, or I'm helping people get full. And it might be full of fats and things like that. But there's an art to cooking. There's an art to falling in love with different tasks. I know people who are perfectly fine working at a fast food place, and then they also have that promotion track. Maybe they just start off as a regular employee doing burgers. And then all of a sudden now they're going to be an assistant manager, and then they're going to be maybe now the supervisor, the shift supervisor, and maybe they even go up to manager, right? So now what they did was they slowly leveled up. And now they're making six figures because managers at McDonald's can make that much. And then if you're a franchisee, maybe you can make even more than that. So you have so many options, and I don't want people to feel like they're limited because maybe they have a smaller job pool, and or maybe they can't find a job with their certifications or a certain niche that they're looking for. My niche is very particular, right? I do mindset education, personal development. And though it's many different facets, it's not for everyone. It's not going to affect everyone the same way, because not everyone is able to perceive what I'm teaching the same way. So you might be really good at math again, and you might do accounting or business finance, but you might not be a good teacher or a good writer. So you're not going to be a journalist. You're not going to be an author. I'm not saying that you can't. It's just saying that you can do other things that you're going to find more fulfillment and more joy in than doing something that you're not good at or that you don't like. And if you haven't noticed, the things that you don't like are probably the things that you're not good at. So yes, there's going to be a level of pain for certain things. For example, you might not like cutting the grass. Don't cut the grass, right? Pay someone to cut the grass. But the reason why you don't like cutting the grass, there is a mindset behind it. And if you are in a mindset right now, and you're in a career right now where you're not happy, if you don't have a career and you're looking for a career, if you find that you're stuck in your career and you want to make some changes, you can do all of that with just the right mindset. How can you start to think in the way that's going to help develop your career into the one that you desire, the one that you can envision for your future? There is no right or wrong path for you, but there are going to be many options for you. And you need to know yourself better than anyone else knows you. And your coach should be doing some work to understand what you want, what you find value in, and then helping you get what you just said. Because if you can say right now on this show, or just writing it out or speaking it into a voice note, this is what I want in a career. This is what I want to attain in my life in the next 5 years or 10 years or whatever, right? That's like the next steps. But we need to first get very, very clear on what you want to do, how you want to do it, and then facilitating a plan to get there. And I help people get to what they want, help get to the results that they're looking for. If you don't have a job, the result that you're looking for is probably you want a job. But then there's another aspect that you want the right job. If you are unhappy in your job because of a manager or employees, and you're looking for a change in scenery, not only what we do with the career coaching, one of the things that we also do with that type of career coaching is we help people understand that it's not the job, it's the people, it's the environment. So we need to change the environment. So we change the environment, and then of course we take all that experience that we got, and then when we're doing the cover letters and the resumes and everything, when we go for the interview, we have better leverage because we might be applying for a job with the same aspects of what we just did. So now we have all that experience from one company and we're bringing it to another. You are now more valuable to that company. Why not ask for more? Because you now are beyond proficient. You're no longer a beginner. You might be intermediate, maybe even a master. So you get to make some choices now. What type of choices are you going to continue to make in your career? If you find yourself doing the wrong things all the time, or getting a raise and spending the raise, there's a mindset to it. So career coaching is going to be helping people understand that their future is going to be in their hands. That means they can change anything that they need to change in order to get better results in their life. Whether they want to start their own business and learn that process, they want to find fulfillment in their job. Maybe they just want to find a job. It doesn't necessarily matter the process for career coaching, but you want to make sure that you have the best boost possible so you can make sure that you're in the best place for you to grow. And that's the final aspect of career coaching. You want to make sure that you're in a place, right? You decided that you want to be in this place, not your mom, not your parents, not your spouse. You decide where you want to be, because if you can decide that, now your brain is going to be working out for you, right? Your mindset is going to be working out for you. And you just have to make some small adjustments or tweaks here and there, and then things start to fall into your place. Maybe you need a new resume. Maybe you need a little bit more accountability, right? Drive to do more applications. Maybe you need to take a class. Maybe you need to start small and then build your way up to big. There's so many aspects of things that we have to understand and then utilize in order to change our career, in order to change our life. Career coaching is just another aspect of mindset coaching that we can understand, that we can change our situation, our current circumstances. If we're not happy where we are, we can change it. If we feel like we can't do something, we need to understand why we can't do it. We have so many limiting beliefs stopping us, and we don't need our career to be one of them. We don't need to have bosses that are not going to be lifting us up. We don't need to have careers that we hate. We don't need to be in a place where we're not appreciated every single day. So if you are struggling with your career, you can head over to revenconcepts.com, get yourself a consultation, and then you can begin to understand a little bit more about your situation, because sometimes we are going to have a blind eye into what we do or what we have, because life can be very busy. And so when you have a career, you work a 9 to 5, and guess what you say when you get home? I'm busy, or I don't have any time. We all have time. We just have to understand, where do we utilize it? So career is going to be the balance of not only your work life, but your personal life. And the goal is, how can we make your life the best life? Whether it be increasing your salary, finding fulfillment, joy, and happiness, or just a moment where you can feel appreciated and see something grow, and to see you grow. Because as you grow as a person, everything else can change around you. My name is Michael Rearden. I'm a mindset coach. If you have any questions, you can email me, coachinginsession@gmail.com, and I will see everyone on the next episode of Coaching in Session. Until then, everyone, take care.